Hi, so I was meant to make this video way too long ago, but I forgot. Then I got sick, and then I didn't have time to record the video because I stayed home. But then I was like, I sound like a goose. So then I got better, and then I didn't have any more time anymore to make the video. And now I'm here. So it's been a month? A month or two since it ended? I don't freaking remember, man. I blocked that whole season out of my brain. Season 5, it doesn't exist to me. So I'm just gonna talk about my thoughts about season 5. I'm not gonna make it too long because there's already so many videos out there about people's opinions, and I agree with so many of them that this last season was just so bad. I don't know how they fumbled it. Actually, no, we do know, because after they released that behind the scenes documentary thing, I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips of it, and I'm like, dude, now we know why the whole season is just dookie. Okay, so I know in the last video I was like, oh no, don't have high expectations, don't bring your hopes up or whatever. But this season was just so bad that no, I was just so disappointed. I was like, what was that ending? Byler aside, I was just like, what? I can't even form a proper sentence because I'm just so confused. Volume 1 was pretty good. It wasn't amazing, but I was like, okay, this is okay. Some of the dialogue, I won't lie, I mean, actually the dialogue throughout the entire freaking season was so buns. Why was it so corny? When Mike was confronting the bullies that were picking on Dustin, and he said that whole line.
Take away. Stop this meathead from reproducing and further infecting the world with his unique brand of idiot.
What was that? I had to pause and look at the wall for a second. I was like, okay. And it wasn't just corny. A lot of the dialogue, a lot of the lines that some of these characters are saying, I'm like, he would not fucking say that. Anyways, volume 1 was okay, but then volume 2, buns, and the final one, buns, whatever. One of the issues, and I think everyone agrees with this, everyone keeps talking about it. There's too many characters that they were switching POVs on, and then characters that they focused too much on that we didn't need to see. Holly, for example. I love her character, but I don't think the whole season needed to be focused on her. Lots of people were saying it should have, just focused on the core 4, the characters that the show started off with. And someone had pointed out, actually a bunch of people had pointed out, when Holly got taken, we should have just not seen her. We should have not seen her POV. Maybe towards the end, maybe we switched to her POV. But they should have pulled a Will, take her, and then we just don't see her again. And then it focuses on the, the main characters trying to find Holly or whatever. I feel that would have worked way better than what we had. Also, certain scenes lasting way too long. We did not need to focus on, the Jancy scene, which, by the way, I didn't know that was a breakup scene until the Duffers come out in that article and we're yeah, they broke up. I should have recorded my reaction during that scene while I was watching the Jancy breakup, because the whole time I couldn't even tell what was going on, and I was literally just quoting that meme oh, we're so fucking back, oh, it's so over, oh, we're so back. And then at the end I was like, oh, so they're together, right? And then the Duffers have to say, no, that was a breakup, y'all. Girl, that did not look like a breakup. Even the general audience were huh? Also, the scene with Max and Holly, they're freaking panicky trying to get out. Why was Max's speech so long? Girl, hurry it up. You guys are about to die. Another thing that a lot of people are complaining about, and they're even making videos making fun of it, is the over explaining their plan and just over explaining things. Them using the chalkboard, they're okay, so this is what we're gonna do, and they're just drawing. I'm and then we're gonna do this, and or the thing where they use an object to kind of represent something to explain their plan. They're this is Vecna, this is Will, this. I'm you guys, maybe once was fine, but multiple times, girl, wrap it up. We do not need you guys to do this. Again, pull out random objects from a freaking shelf to explain your plan. You guys could have just been guys, I have a plan, and then it switches scenes to them doing it, and then the audience is oh, what they're trying to do, and then we see what their plan is. We do not need to waste 10 freaking minutes of them sitting in the living room, pulling out the chalkboard, pulling out the random objects to represent different characters and explaining their plan. No, girl, that just wasted so much time. Now I'm going to talk about some of the things I had issues with. I mean, some people have talked about this too, but what I noticed is like Joyce barely, I guess, did anything in this last season. Like she barely had any lines. Like, of course she had some lines, but it's just like, she was just kind of there. And I'm like, I wish we could have seen more. Cause like season 1 and 2, like it focused so much on her. And then at the end, she was just kind of there. And it was so disappointing. And not just her, just like the Byers family in general. Like we barely had any focus on them as just as a family. Like, and that's what I miss, because it's like season 1, it focused so much on Will and like the Byers family. So it would have been nice to kind of see them interact again in the final season, but no, we didn't get that. Oh my god, and another thing I wish we could have gotten more, and I was literally begging for it, like at the end, after season 4 ended, I was like, please give us more Will and Elle interactions. Like we barely got any in season 4. And they literally moved in with each other. They were like brother and sister. So I was like expecting more like interactions with them, or like scenes with them at school, or I don't know. So I was just like, damn, that's all we got. So I was like, hopefully there's more in season 5. No, we didn't get anything. If they ever release another Stranger Things book, I hope it's focused on Will. And like it focuses like that pause in between season 3 and 4, like him and Lenora. Actually, would I buy it? Would I read it? Would I give them the money? I will buy it just for Will Byers, and then I will return it and get my money back. Also, guys, like remember, like Will and Elle didn't interact in season 3. Will was literally trying to play D&D with his friends, and he was so pissed off at the fact that like, damn, these bitches want to just hang out with their girlfriends and not me. Like, what the fuck is this bullshit? He was jealous of Elle, like, because he literally said, oh, you just want to swap spit with some stupid girl. He was jealous. Like, I feel like we should explore that more. I don't know, his dynamic with Elle. Maybe once Elle moved in, or like after that whole thing, he kind of like felt bad. He was just like, damn, I really felt jealous about this girl. I don't know. It would have been interesting to explore that, like, and how they started to get along with each other. But no, we didn't get any of that. I could keep talking about Will Elle because I love Willow so much. Like, you'll probably see like me drawing a comic of them in the background here, but I would be talking for an hour, so I'm just gonna stop here. Okay, now guys, the coming out scene. That shit was so bad. Like, I remember I was watching, I was so over it at that point. I was just like, I don't even give a shit. I was trying to avoid spoilers because I started watching like an hour after it had already been released, and I was already over it. I was like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna go on Twitter. And the first tweet I see as I refresh that page were like, guys, the coming out scene is so bad. And I'm like, ooh, I was bracing myself for that. So then the scene comes up and I'm sitting there and I'm like, wait, it's good so far, because it was just him and Joyce. And then Mike walks in. I was like, wait, what are the people talking about? This is so good. He's about to walk in. He's about to tell Mike. No, he's like, no, wait, you need to hear this. He's like, actually, no, everyone needs to hear this. He literally meant everyone. Brought the whole fucking town of Hawkins in that goddamn room. Ew. And then the part where everyone's like getting up and saying, and me, like one by one. And I was like, y'all, this is so corny. I literally paused and I started laughing. But then I started crying. I was like, I don't know if I was crying because I was like, oh, this scene is so like emotional, or it was so bad I started crying. I can't even remember. Actually, I wasn't like full on sobbing. Just a single tear went down my cheek. You know, like that scene with Mike with the CGI tear? That was literally me. After that scene though, like I was just thinking like, is Will and Mike not gonna have a one-on-one talk? And then they eventually do at the tower. Which, by the way, it was released that like Noah, jump scare, had to freaking tell the Duffers like, we need a scene between the two. Like, they haven't had like a one-on-one scene. Like, Will literally has a crush on this boy, and they don't have a single scene where they have like, you know, a talk about it. I don't know. And they give us that freaking shitty conversation between the two. Friends? No. Best friends. What was that, brother? Like, what the also, that small little pause before he says best friends, it even had the general audience thinking like, oh, it's gonna be canon. And then no, he finishes it off with best friends. And then they thought like, oh yeah, that scene was so bad. It felt like that scene felt so much like, oh, it was making fun of Byler, or like it just felt like the Duffers didn't care. Like they were just like, here's your freaking Will and Mike scene. Gosh, like there it is. And it was just so half-assed. Also, the painting was never addressed. Like everyone was waiting for it. I even said in the last video, like it wouldn't make any sense if it wasn't addressed. Because Will's character, he isn't the type to lie to Mike. He would tell him the truth, whatever. I mean, they have that whole phrase between the friends, like, oh, friends don't lie or whatever. And Will literally says in the first episode to Mike, like he told him the truth of like what he actually rolled. It was like, it was a 7 or whatever the fuck he rolled. I don't know. I can't remember. But point is, he tells him the truth. For Will to lie to Mike, for him to use that painting, his own feelings to uplift, their relationship, to try and fix it. Like that's such a big lie. And they don't address it. That's just shitty writing, guys. Like it's so bad. And fucking Mike has that goddamn painting hung up on his dorm wall, like at the very last scene. This fucker probably still thinks Elle commissioned it for him. The final scene, the epilogue, also disappointed. I mean, I keep saying the word disappointing, but like that's literally my overall thoughts for this last episode. Like it was bad. Like Elle sacrificing herself. Okay. I literally predicted. I was like, they're gonna pull a Voltron and kill off Allura. It fucking happened. They gave Elle the Allura ending. Also, the way everyone moved on after, Elle died. Why is Mike the only one depressed? Why isn't Hopper the one that's like depressed or whatever? Why is Hopper acting so normal? Because Hopper spent the most time with Elle. Like that's literally his daughter. Like he took care of her, whatever. So for him to be like having to go to Mike and be like, come on, you gotta go graduate, and he's acting all normal, and like bro literally tried to off himself every fucking season. Why is he acting so normal? Like he's acting like as if like nothing happened. And Mike's like, I'm so depressed. Girl! They butchered Mike's character too. Like he was just there to serve face and that's it. Like he didn't do anything. He didn't contribute anything to the goddamn fucking last season. Also, the Duffers just confirmed, but also they kept saying, oh, we don't know. They kept going back and forth. Like, girl, just say it didn't happen. They said like, oh, Mike, that little vision or that talk he had with Elle before she offed herself, that wasn't real. Like she couldn't have done that because of the speakers or whatever. And then they said, but who knows? It might have happened. I'm like, no, girl, it didn't happen. Just say it didn't happen. Like, I don't know why they're trying to give like an open-ended ending or whatever when it's like so obvious. Like, no, Elle's gone, girl. Like, what? Pulling all the I believe shit. Like, no. Why was Will's like epilogue, like his ending? Why was he at a gay bar? Like, why didn't they just give him a scene where he's at school at his art class or meeting up with other people who, drawing with them? Like, did they forget what his character was and what he enjoys doing? They just put the gay bar scene just to give him a random epilogue boyfriend. That's literally it. It's crazy how like the ending is exactly like Voltron. They're following Voltron's footsteps. Random epilogue boyfriend, killing off the love interest with the straight pairing. That didn't make any sense, honestly, but I'm not gonna go into that. Overall, the ending was shitty, buns, dookie, all of the above. I'm gonna list some of the plot holes. There's already videos and like posts of people listing like paragraphs of all the plot holes. But I'm just gonna point out the main ones that I noticed after watching. Or at least just the ones that stood out to me that I feel like were really, really freaking important for them to address. Like the Vecna lore, that's one of them. The guy in the freaking cave, the suitcase. I know they have the play, but not everyone has seen the fucking play. Who's gonna fly to New York or where else? What's the other one other place? Freaking UK to watch the play. Not everyone has seen it, so I feel like they should have talked about it. The painting is another one. I already freaking talked about that. The importance of Will's birthday and, Vecna's birthday. Why the Upside Down is frozen in time. I feel like they should have talked about that. The Mind Flare and Will. Wasn't he connected to it in some way or whatever? I don't know why he wasn't affected. No monsters is in the upside down. The vines. Why is the color grading different now? Like, what is happening? And you know what's so funny? In that documentary, the behind the scenes video where they're like showing them like filming, one of the freaking writers, or I don't know who they were, they literally said like, we have to have monsters or like something there. Like there has to be like demogorgons, demodog, something under, like while they're there. One of the duffers just says, what you mean? Like, girl. Also, who unlocked the door before like Will was taken to the upside down? Who unlocked that, like the little latch there? The government, like all those soldiers. Girl, where did they go? The milkshake thing. I think Will had, when he was coming out, he was just like, oh, I love getting milkshakes at I can't remember the store, but it's just the general store. Like they just sell, like, I forgot what it's called, but they don't sell milkshakes. They haven't sold milkshakes since like I think Vecna's or like Joyce's time when they were teens. So it made no sense for him to say that. That's why people thought it was written by AI, because they're like, oh, maybe AI took it from like the play, or the adults not acknowledging Henry. And then the Duffer's like, oh, maybe they realized like after, like at the end. What do you mean? What? I love how in those article interviews they just kept saying, I don't know, maybe it did happen. What do you mean you don't know? You're literally the writers, you're the creators. There's so much other shit I could talk about this goddamn show, but I will be talking for like an hour, and there's already so many videos of people talking about it. Like, you don't need another video of someone complaining about it. I could talk more, especially how they freaking butchered Will's character, especially like that is my favorite character ever, and for them to give him that kind of ending is so bad. Like, it's so bad, because you look back at that one season where he's like, oh, I'm not gonna fall in love, and he literally doesn't give a love interest at the end. Like, that a blog boyfriend is not even real, because Mike is telling a whole little D&D campaign, like his whole little story. Mike is schizophrenic. Whatever he said there, that was not real. So in the end, Will just never got a boyfriend. He never fell in love. Okay, he did fall in love. He was in love with that boy for I don't know how many years. It's just so sad. As much as I hate this show, I love the characters too much. I care for the characters so deeply. Like, this is the type of show I'll come back to, like maybe once a year, to draw Will Byers, because, you know, he's my favorite character. I just love them a lot. I do that with Voltron. I fucking hate the show. I fucking hate the ending. But do I love Lance? Yes. I will always come back at least once a year to draw him. Anyways, this is all I got. I'm kidding. I have a lot more to talk about. But again, this video would be fucking 1 hour long. I don't want to do that. I don't want to edit an hour-long video. So yeah, I'm just going to keep drawing Byler. ID gaff. I'm going to still read Byler fanfiction. I don't care. That ending, it isn't real to me. You know what's canon to me? They end up getting together after, Mike and Will reunite in New York and they get together. That's canon to me. Anyways, that's it, guys. Maybe in my next video, I'll talk about another queerbait pairing. Who knows? Okay, bye.